to Hot 2006. I decided to respond to your written letters on my website. Since you decided to come to me with respect and your opinions in a very respectful way, I will do the same for you. We both will agree on a lot of things. Like, number one, the woman was drunk. That was a fact. Number two, when she was in the precinct, and I looked at the video about 5 times, even went over it slowly to make sure I didn't miss anything. But as I looked at the video, she was handcuffed. She was very little threat to the officer. I know I've been in that situation a few times myself. And I'm a big man. I stand 6'5". I weigh over 300 pounds. So I'm a natural threat to anyone. If that officer would have been in the same room with me, there'd have been about 8 or 9 of them in there. But I'm a big man. She was a little woman, barefoot. The worst thing she could do was squat down. She couldn't have done no real harm to the officer. Her hands were cuffed. But me and you could agree on one thing. There was 3 mistakes that were made during that time, and I will reflect on all 3 of them. Number 1, when she was demanding to make a phone call, that was within her rights to do. I can only go by North Carolina law. I do not know what laws in her state are. I'll admit that. But in North Carolina law, if she would have been so drunk and she would have demanded a call to her husband, the police officer in question could have done, I don't know if this would have been where their rules or not, but let's say he was in North Carolina. Number 1, he could have let her make the call to her husband. Took the phone and says to the mister, please get your attorney to come down here. And a breathalyzer, he could have observed the breathalyzer and the results, so everything was on the up and up. The officer could have done that. That would have saved a lot of hassle. He didn't do it. That's why when you're drunk, you get kind of crazy. Arrest is a major shocker. But still, that was no excuse for her to get rude. True. Number 2 mistake he made. When she did get belligerent, he should have called backup. Whether it's 1 or 100. That would have saved him. Because he'd had a witness there. A fellow officer. That was his 2nd mistake. His 3rd mistake, he shut off the camera while she was still in the room. I will give you your argument. Let's say she was so drunk she fell face first on the floor. Well, I looked at the injuries. Yes, that could have happened. I'll give you your opinion. But also the marks also, to me, showed that could have very easily been a punch to the face or a kick in the face. So she had no way of defending herself from falling on the ground. She couldn't block herself with her hands. When you're handcuffed, face first. But either way, the officer was negligent. His negligence led to his dismissal from the force. His wrongful act was when the cameras were turned on. It wasn't by him, but by another officer. The 2nd officer was the smart man in the room. He turned on the camera. That saved the Shreveport Police Department from a major lawsuit. Because at that point, crime was concealed. They could still sue that officer in civil court. May or may not get nothing out of it. But in the situation that you're in, you're right to your opinions. And I'll give you those. I will try to be as respectful to you as I can. I did promise that. And I hope you do become a subscriber to my site. I respect your opinions. That is why, instead of typing out a long-winded letter, I decided to break down my opinion in words. You are welcome to your opinion anytime on my site. That's why it's open. That's why I leave that part open. And if you decided to post your own videos and do your own thing like that, I hope to become a supporter. I hope one day you'll subscribe to my site. True, I'm a lot of bad things, but there is one thing I am good at. I'm a very fair person. If you open up the olive branch to me, I will give it back to you. You come over here raising sand, I will raise sand back. I respect you for your comments, and I'm sorry that I've read on recent thing with Raleigh giving you a little bit of grief. I won't give you that grief. I do appreciate you for putting your opinions. We agree on a lot of things. We can also disagree. But I'm glad you made the first step of making it very respectful. And one of my favorite lines I always like to do whenever I sign off is,